Well, I'm back and I made a little bit more progress. I got some parts in today, and I'm stuck on something, just to show you where I am. Put the right badge on, got the top hat grommets, put that back on, clean this all up, reassembled everything, and before I put this in, I had put all the carbs back on and decided to crank it up and see if my oil leak was gone, see how it was running, and had a heck of a time getting it started. Eventually, I got started running really rough. I think I wasn't firing on all cylinders, so I decided to shut it down and replace the distributor cap and wires and spark plugs. But before I did that, I just turned on the key to make sure I didn't have leaking fuel, and I had fuel shooting out of here and here. So somewhere in the process of setting it down and putting it back, and the float got stuck. So I took that apart. Everything seemed okay. I put it back together. It was fine. So I had good oil pressure, which was good because I had done this inverted oil filter replacement. And I didn't see any leaks coming out of the tappet side. There was a little leak coming down here, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I replaced all this, started it back up, and it was running better. It's still running rough, so the idle's higher than it was. So I need to get probably to the point where I need to check the timing on this. And then I'm going to have to tune up the carbs. But I'm never going to get it perfectly good because I did a compression test. And my compression test revealed, I thought I was going to be good until I got to the last cylinder. Number 1, 143. Number 2 was 139. Number 3 was 143. And number 4 cylinder was 125. So that's not absolutely horrible, but I wish it was closer, because that exceeds that, 5 to 10% out of variance. And so I went ahead and ran it and checked, and I'm not getting anything coming out of the tappet cover and crankcase vent that Geo made for me. So I'm extremely happy with that. No puddles on the floor. And I tightened up this bolt down here and ran it again on the underside where it attaches to the mounting block. Gave it a good another turn or so, and I haven't seen anything. I'm going to run it for an extended period of time after I get it tuned to make sure I'm not dripping from there. But I'm extremely happy that the oil drips are almost addressed. So it's a matter of tuning right now. So I figured I'd put that down for a few minutes and then look at this. I went ahead and topped off the oil here. Figured while I was in here, go ahead and change the brakes, or at least take a look at them. So I took these off. Took me a minute to figure out that I had to bend these tabs back. Got all this off, but I cannot, for the life of me, get this drum off. It's free, spins, it's not stuck. Sometimes I know there's a screw here holding these things on, and I don't see one. And I've been looking around, and I don't know what the trick is. I've tried rubber mallet, banging around. I've tried banging from this side. I've tried spinning this around, lining that up, and turning the screw all the way one way and all the way the other way. And I can't get the drum off. So if anybody knows the trick to getting the drum off of a knockoff wheel setup, I'd really like to know that. And I think that was the extent of it. I put on silicone gasket here, silicone gaskets there. I was getting this, not a whistle, but this weird high-pitched sucking noise. The back carb seems to, I don't know, it doesn't sound right to me. And I am getting an oil leak, or not an oil leak, a fuel leak, but I can't isolate exactly where it is. I'm gonna put my finger down here. So, okay, so essentially right here is where the choke is, the choke cable. And if I follow up to the back one, I get, you can see that, I've got fuel dripping from this assembly, I believe where the jet is, but I can't really isolate where that is. It's not on the float bowl. I've verified that. It's coming out of somewhere in this bottom assembly, and I'm not sure where I can tighten. I didn't take anything apart on this. Basically, I took the whole carb unit out and set it on the ground as a whole, and then just cleaned up the gasket here on both sides and then put it right back in like that. So I'm not sure why I've got a fuel leak here when I didn't before. So I've got a carb rebuild kit. If I have to, it's on back order, but when it comes, if I have to, I'll rebuild the carbs. But what I don't know is if I need my bushings rebuilt. And I don't know if this is the right way to check it. But right here, you can, I hope you can see that. I get a little bit of play in here, a little bit less on this side. I think that's what they're talking about with the bushings right there. But if I don't, I can take apart the carbs and replace all the gaskets, and that should address the fuel leak. But if I don't have to rip everything back out, if it's a quick fix to tighten this bolt or tighten that bolt, I'd rather do that. And I gave these nuts another snugging after I put it all on, because it just sounded to me like it was trying to suck air from where it wasn't supposed to. Also, the previous owner, right here, where the vent comes in, he just crammed this thing in here and got all bent. So I tried to Dremel that out, but I really don't like that setup. These are Volks, and he bought an aftermarket filter, K&N or something. If I need to try to find a replacement to get that addressed better. And I asked earlier about this spring, and there's supposed to be a little teardrop that was pointed out somewhere on this, either here or on this side, that does not exist on mine. So I kept digging, and I finally found a picture I had that showed well enough that this is where it was hooked before. So that's not the right place, but that's where it was before, so that is where I've got it right now until I can find something better. And if I do rebuild that, I'll get the right piece and put it on there. So that's where I am. So if anybody knows what I might check to stop this fuel leak, and if anybody knows how to get this drum off, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.